Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Aliens discovered a lost human colony. What they found shocked them. The Discovery, the Silver exploration vessel Astral Seeker, drifted silently through the Taurus Nebula, its crystalline hull capturing and refracting the distant starlight. Commander Telek stood on the observation deck, her forearms crossed in contemplation as she studied the swirling cosmic gases that obscured their sensors. The mission had been unremarkable so far, charting the nebula's volatile regions and cataloging potentially habitable worlds for the Calver Expansion Initiative. "Commander," called Science Officer Ven from the analysis station, his voice vibrating with unusual excitement. "I'm detecting anomalous energy readings from the third moon of the gas giant in Sector 7. Telek's bioluminescent patches flickered with interest. "Specify anomalous, Ven." "The readings suggest artificial power generation, but that's impossible." Ven's tendrils twitched nervously. "The moon is bombarded with lethal radiation from the gas giant. No known species could survive there without shielding beyond our current technological capabilities." "Perhaps it's automated equipment, an abandoned research station," suggested Navigation Officer Mira, her scaled skin glistening under the ship's ambient lighting. Telek considered the possibilities. The Kelver Collective had encountered 17 sapient species in their exploration of the galaxy, but none possessed technology advanced enough to establish a permanent presence on such an inhospitable world. "Alter course," she decided. "Let's investigate." As the Astral Seeker approached the moon, the crew fell silent. The barren, crater-marked surface appeared lifeless, exactly as their data had predicted. But as they established orbit, the sensors revealed something extraordinary. "Commander, there's an artificial structure beneath the surface," Ven reported, mandibles clicking in disbelief. "An entire settlement, approximately 2 km in diameter, protected by some kind of energy field that's neutralizing the radiation." "Visual confirmation," Telek ordered. The main display activated, showing thermal imagery of the moon's surface. Beneath several meters of regolith lay an unmistakable pattern of corridors, chambers, and what appeared to be a central power source. "The architecture," Ven hesitated, "it appears to be human." A collective murmur rippled through the bridge. Humans were one of the newest spacefaring species in the galaxy, resourceful certainly, but technologically inferior to the Silver in most respects. Finding them here, in this impossible location, defied explanation. "Establish communication," Telek ordered, her voice steady despite her growing curiosity. After several attempts, the communication officer finally reported, "We're receiving a response, Commander." The display flickered, revealing a human female with dark skin and eyes that reflected determination and caution in equal measure. "This is Dr. Maya Patel of New Horizon Colony," she said, her voice remarkably calm. "You found us earlier than we anticipated, but I suppose it was inevitable." Telek stepped forward. "I am Commander Telek of the Silver exploration vessel Astral Seeker. Your presence on this moon was unexpected. Our data indicates this environment should be lethal to humans." Dr. Patel smiled slightly. "And yet here we are. I invite you to send a small delegation to our facility. I believe we have much to discuss." 6 hours later, Telek led a team of 5 through the human colony's airlock. The interior was a marvel of engineering, a self-contained ecosystem with hydroponic gardens, residential quarters, and research facilities, all powered by a technology that hummed with unfamiliar energy. Dr. Patel greeted them personally, alongside a gray-haired human male who introduced himself as Director Chen. "Welcome to New Horizon," Dr. Patel said. "You're the first non-human visitors we've had in 15 years. 15 years? Ven couldn't contain his surprise. "This colony has existed for 15 years without detection." Director Chen nodded. "That was precisely the point. Isolation and secrecy were necessary conditions for our work." Telek's bioluminescent patches pulsed with barely contained curiosity. "What work requires such extreme measures, Director? And how have you overcome the radiation that should make this moon uninhabitable? The humans exchanged glances before Dr. Patel gestured toward a circular door. Perhaps it's better if we show you. They were led into a vast chamber dominated by a spherical device suspended in a containment field. The sphere pulsed with a bluish light that seemed to bend the very space around it. This is the quantum displacement engine, Dr. Patel explained, pride evident in her voice. The culmination of decades of theoretical work and practical application, it's creating a localized bubble of altered spacetime. You're not just shielding from the radiation, Venn whispered, his scientific training immediately recognizing the implications. You're changing how fundamental forces interact with this facility. Director Chen smiled grimly. Precisely, and that's just the beginning of what the QDE can do. As they toured the facility, the humans gradually revealed the truth. New Horizon wasn't merely a scientific outpost. It was a refuge, established in secret after humanity discovered something terrible lurking in the depths of space. We call them the Void Collective, Dr. Patel explained as they gathered in a conference room. We first encountered them 20 years ago, when one of our deep space probes disappeared near the galactic rim. The probe's final transmission showed entities that defy conventional understanding, beings composed of dark matter that consume normal matter to expand their territory. We've never detected such entities, Telek said, her tone skeptical. You wouldn't have, Director Chen replied. They exist partially outside our normal spacetime. They're virtually undetectable until they've already begun to consume a system. Dr. Patel activated a holographic display showing the progressive disappearance of several star systems. The Void Collective has been steadily advancing toward the populated regions of the galaxy. Conventional weapons and defenses are useless against them. If this threat is real, Telek said carefully, why haven't you shared this information with other spacefaring species? The Selver Collective has technologies that might. We tried, Director Chen interrupted, his expression hardening. 20 years ago, we approached the Galactic Council with our evidence. We were dismissed as paranoid newcomers trying to gain attention and influence beyond our standing. And so we took matters into our own hands, Dr. Patel continued. We established New Horizon in secret, away from prying eyes, to develop the only technology that might save us all, the quantum displacement engine. Venn studied the data scrolling across his device. This technology, it's far beyond anything in our theoretical models. You've harnessed zero-point energy and manipulated quantum fields at a macroscopic level. Necessity is the mother of invention, Dr. Patel said with a humorless smile. Facing extinction tends to accelerate scientific advancement. As the tour concluded, Telek found herself facing an unprecedented dilemma. Selver Protocol demanded that she report this discovery to the collective immediately. An unauthorized human colony using experimental technology of this magnitude represented a potential threat to galactic stability. Yet something about the humans' desperate ingenuity resonated with her. If their claims about the Void Collective were true, this secret colony might represent the galaxy's best hope for survival. Her deliberation was cut short by an urgent communication from the Astral Seeker. Commander, the voice of her first officer crackled through her communicator, we've detected 3 vessels entering the system. They're not responding to hails and are on a direct course for the moon. Director Chen's face drained of color. They found us. Who has found you? Telek demanded, her bioluminescent patches flashing with alarm. The Heralds, Dr. Patel replied, already moving toward a control terminal. They serve the Void Collective, beings from worlds already consumed who now seek out new targets for their masters. The facility's alarms activated, bathing the corridors in pooling red light as humans rushed to battle stations with practiced efficiency. Your vessel is in danger, Director Chen told Telek. The Heralds will destroy anything that might reveal their presence to the wider galaxy. Telek made a swift decision. Officer Venn, return to the ship immediately. Take our findings and initiate Emergency Protocol 7. If we don't make contact within 6 hours, return to Selver space with this information. After Ven departed, Telek turned to the humans. My crew will assist in your defense. Now tell me what we're facing. The tactical display showed 3 sleek vessels approaching, their design unlike any known species. As they watched, the ships deployed smaller craft that began descending toward the moon's surface. The heralds were once like us, Dr. Patel explained grimly, but exposure to the Void Collective has changed them physically and mentally. They're no longer fully organic, no longer fully anchored in our reality. How do we fight them? Asked Mira, checking the charge on her particle disruptor. Conventional weapons can damage their vessels and equipment, Director Chen replied. But the heralds themselves are more difficult. They phase in and out of our reality at will. Dr. Patel led them to an armory where human technicians were distributing unusual weapons. Sleek rifles that hummed with the same blue energy as the quantum displacement engine. Phase-lock disruptors, she explained, handing one to Telek. They temporarily anchor the heralds to our reality, making them vulnerable. The first impacts rocked the facility as the herald vessels began bombarding the moon's surface. The facility's shields held, but the energy readings showed they wouldn't last indefinitely. They're trying to collapse our quantum bubble, Dr. Patel said. We need to deploy the countermeasures. Telek and her remaining crew followed the humans to a launch bay where a dozen small drones waited, each containing what appeared to be a miniature version of the QDE. These drones will disrupt their ship's navigation systems, Director Chen explained as technicians initiated the launch sequence. It won't stop them, but it might buy us time. The drones shot upward through a narrow shaft, breaking through the moon's surface toward the herald vessels. On the tactical display, they watched as the drones reached their targets and detonated in bursts of blue energy. 2 of the enemy ships spun out of control, their systems temporarily disabled, but the 3rd ship had already deployed landing craft, and the facility sensors detected multiple breaches along the outer perimeter. They're inside, Dr. Patel announced. We need to protect the central chamber. Telek had fought in skirmishes before, but nothing prepared her for the heralds. They moved with unnatural speed, their forms flickering between solid matter and translucent shadows. Their bodies were vaguely humanoid but distorted, with too many joints and skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The phase-lock disruptors proved effective, but the heralds were numerous and determined. Telek found herself fighting alongside humans who displayed remarkable courage and tactical skill. Together, they established a defensive perimeter around the central chamber housing the main QDE. During a momentary lull in the fighting, Dr. Patel pulled Telek aside. There's something you need to know, Commander. New Horizon isn't just a research facility, it's a prototype. A prototype for what? Telek asked, recharging her weapon. For humanity's salvation. The quantum displacement engine isn't just a shield, it's a transportation system. We've established 17 colonies like this one throughout the galaxy, all hidden, all developing different aspects of the technology. Understanding dawned on Telek. You're preparing for evacuation. Dr. Patel nodded. Not just humans. We intend to save as many species as possible. The QDE can relocate entire planetary populations instantly across vast distances, but we need time to perfect the technology. Before Telek could respond, a massive explosion shook the facility. The tactical display showed that one of the herald vessels had crashed directly into the moon's surface, creating a breach larger than any of their defenses could handle. They're making a final push, Director Chen announced. All personnel to emergency positions. The next hour was chaos. Heralds poured through the breach, overwhelming several defensive positions. Telek lost 2 more of her crew, while the humans suffered mounting casualties. They were gradually forced back to the central chamber, where Dr. Patel and a team of engineers worked frantically at the QDE's controls. Whatever you're planning, do it quickly, Telek shouted as she fired at another wave of attackers. Almost there, Dr. Patel replied, her fingers flying across the interface. The calibration has to be precise, or we risk tearing a hole in spacetime. Director Chen appeared at Telek's side, blood streaming from a wound on his forehead. "We can't hold them much longer." "You don't have to," Dr. Patel announced. "It's ready." The QDE began to pulse with increasing intensity, the blue light spreading outward to encompass the entire chamber. The heralds shrieked, an otherworldly sound that pierced Telek's mind as they tried to retreat from the expanding field of energy. "What's happening?" Telek demanded. "Watch." As the heralds caught in the field began to disintegrate, Dr. Patel explained, her voice strained with concentration. "We're creating a quantum barrier. It's forcing everything within its radius to exist solely in our reality. The heralds can't survive being fully anchored to normal spacetime." The barrier expanded beyond the facility, enveloping the entire moon. On the tactical displays, they watched as the remaining herald vessels attempted to flee, only to be caught in the quantum wave and torn apart. As the immediate danger passed, Dr. Patel collapsed from exhaustion, caught by Director Chen. The remaining humans and Selvar looked at each other with newfound respect born from shared combat. "You've seen what we're up against," Director Chen said to Telek once they had moved the wounded to the medical bay. "And you've seen what we're capable of. The question is, what will you tell your people?" Telek considered her options. Selvar protocol was clear, but the galaxy's survival transcended any single species' regulations. "I will tell them the truth," she finally said. "That humanity has developed technology that could save us all from a threat we never knew existed, and I will advocate for an alliance, one that combines Selvar resources with human innovation." Dr. Patel, recovering on a medical bed, smiled weakly. "That's all we ever wanted, a chance to work together." 3 weeks later, a delegation from the Selvar Collective arrived at New Horizon. They brought with them representatives from 5 other major spacefaring species, all initially skeptical, all ultimately convinced by the evidence Telek had gathered. As the delegates toured the facility, marveling at human ingenuity, Telek stood with Dr. Patel on the observation deck, watching as construction began on a new, larger quantum displacement engine, one built with the combined knowledge of multiple species. "You know," Telek said thoughtfully, her bioluminescent patches glowing softly, "in all our years of exploration, the Selvar have prided ourselves on our technological superiority. It's humbling to discover that the youngest spacefaring race might be the one to save us all." Dr. Patel smiled. "That's the thing about being underestimated. It gives you the freedom to attempt the impossible." Below them, humans and aliens worked side by side, preparing for a war that would determine the fate of all sentient life in the galaxy. The odds were overwhelming, the enemy nearly incomprehensible, but as Telek watched the unprecedented cooperation unfolding before her, she felt something she hadn't experienced in many cycles: hope. Sometimes, she reflected, the most important discoveries aren't new worlds or cosmic phenomena, but the hidden potential of species we thought we understood. The humans had proven that desperation and ingenuity could overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Now, with the combined resources and knowledge of multiple civilizations, perhaps the impossible might become possible after all. The Void Collective was coming, but thanks to a hidden human colony in the most unlikely of places, the galaxy would not face the darkness unprepared.